Hey, I'm live. I'm so sorry I'm late. Having technical difficulties. Like I said, this has been crazy recently, but I'm super excited to finally be on. And I'm going to invite my special guest, and we have something really special planned for you guys. Hold on just 1 second, and let's get this party started. So as soon as you guys start hopping on, let me know who's on so I can say hello. Oh, okay, and here we are. All right. So today we're going to be talking about something that I find very important because we all go through this, we all suffer that, and sometimes we don't know how to deal with it or what to do because we feel lost. I feel like self-awareness is something that is sometimes very difficult for us to achieve, and we're able to do that through relationships, through communication and extension with others. And I think I have my friend here now. Um, we're gonna add her to the stream. Hey,
Woo! What's up? How's it going?
how are you? We did it. We did it. I was like, oh my god,
We
oh my
are
god,
here. I'm excited. I'm excited.
we're here. Awesome, awesome. I was like, oh my god, am I doing it wrong? This is like new for me, all this technology. But thanks to my friend Daisha, I'm getting the hang of it, and I will get it. I will get it right. So, how's your day
Yeah.
so far?
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so excited to be here. So excited.
Awesome, awesome. So, like I was saying, everybody, whoever hops on, just let me know you're there. Say hello and say hi to Daisha. And let's get started. So, Daisha, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while because you have a very interesting story to tell. And it's something that I feel that all of us suffer from time to time. And it's limiting beliefs. You know, especially when we're young. It's something that we all struggle with, and I think that has to do with the fact that the way we come into this universe, we come in as empty slates, and our brains are like sponges, and we start absorbing information from everything around us, and that could be friends, that could be family, that could be church, that could be school, television, radio. But the problem with this is that sometimes the stuff that we're absorbing, the habits that we pick up, the beliefs that we have don't serve us. They don't serve us and they don't do us any good. And we're so young that we don't understand that these things that we're adapting into our lives as part of our personalities, they don't help us in the future, and they don't allow us to be who we want to be or reach our full potential. So I know that you and I were talking, and you had told me a couple of stuff about that. So that was my question to you. Like when you were in school, you were telling me about the hard times that you had, and you also struggled somehow with limiting beliefs. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So in high school, that was probably the hardest time of my life, to be honest. I found out that I was gay when I was in sixth grade. And after that, my mom, she completely, basically disowned me after that. Me and her did not have a good relationship for multiple years. So when high school hit, I was in my freshman year, and my mom ended up getting back into drugs, and she ended up leaving. So me and my one, two, three sisters, four sisters, let's see, one, two, three, four. So my four sisters were staying with my stepdad. So during that time, I basically had to just be a mom at that point. I had to help with taking care of my sisters. And during that time, it was so hard because I was gay, right? I was gay. I was this overweight kid. I wasn't able to go out to parties and do all this stuff because I had to take care of my sister. So I was just bullied a lot. So for the longest time, I just thought I was this stupid, overweight kid. I ended up not graduating high school because I ended up going to work full time to help my dad to pay with bills and stuff. So yeah, it just got really hard. So I really thought that money just didn't grow on trees. That was the biggest thing that I heard, is money is hard to get and you have to work your butt off basically to get it. And that was just a huge limiting belief that followed me for the longest time. And up until about, I'd say 3 years ago, I 100% believed it. And I was in a really dark place because of it. So.
Wow. So you got bullied in school.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And that must have been really hard, having to take care of your family at such a young age. So how did you deal with all that? Like, I'm assuming you were struggling, you're being bullied. How was that period for you? I mean, how did you handle it?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't have any choice. I think that's really what got me through it, is I didn't have a choice. It was
Right.
either that or sulk, you know? So during that period of time, the thing that helped me the most was just the love, I guess. I would say that it was just this love that I have for my family. You know, I seen that my biological dad died when I was 2. So I always felt like I was kind of abandoned. He never wanted to see me. And then all of a sudden we adopted my 2 cousins after their mom died. And so then they felt kind of abandoned because their dad didn't take them. And then my mom left. So they were feeling even more abandoned. So all of us together, we kind of all had this same feeling of thinking that
Right.
people didn't want us. So having that absolute love for my sisters and knowing that I wanted to make sure that they knew that they were loved, they knew that they were wanted, you know, because I had that same feeling even going to school. So I would say that's what really got me through it all.
So I know that you're talking about this. So you had to work hard, and I'm sure it was really hard. I'm really sorry, but um, in reference to that, your love got you through, but the limiting beliefs, how did they affect you, and how did you become aware that you even had these limiting beliefs? Because I know people say, money doesn't grow on trees. I had limiting beliefs too. I was raised Jehovah Witness, and I was raised a
Mm-hmm.
girl, and I was always told that as a woman, as a Jehovah Witness, there's so many things you couldn't do. I mean, so many things were off limit. And so I grew up, thinking that, okay, well, that was my limit. I didn't even know that
Yeah.
there were so many things that I could do, that I could achieve. And I basically was waiting for people's approval, or for people to allow
Yeah.
me to do things. Like, I remember when I was obsessed with music, and it wasn't until my long-term girlfriend that she was like, why don't you just buy turntables and DJ? And literally I looked at her and I could cry, because I was like, I can do that? And she looked at me like, and like 6 months later, I had my own, I had residency at Nikki Beach, which is one of the biggest nightclubs in Miami. And 6 months after that, we had our own nightclub. So it's like, it's unbelievable. We don't know what capabilities we have or what our potential is. But what freaks me out the most about it is that sometimes we're not even aware that we have those limiting beliefs. And we're not even aware of why we feel like a little bit of, like, sometimes a little bit of emptiness and sorrow. Even when you have moments of happiness, you still have that longing, that yearning feeling inside. And some of us don't even know what that is. And I feel that it's like our intuition, our full potential, our true selves that's going, hey, I'm here. I'm here. I haven't forgotten you, but we don't even know how to connect with that. So how was that journey with you? How did you get to, well, where you are now?
Well, to be honest, throughout my entire high school years, like I thought that same thing. I kept those limiting beliefs. I was not aware of it during that time. Like you said, I feel like so many people are not aware of that. So it wasn't until about 3.5 years ago I had met my wife. We were living in this house with no running water. And she was the only one working at the time. Like, we literally had to bring in a hose from outside just to be able to shower during the summer. And when I was trying to work online, right? Like, I had ended up quitting my job. She was the only one working. I was trying to get things going online, and I was just failing. Like, I was completely failing. I was just wasting our money. And my friend Len had reached out to me. He's like, Daisha, like, you have good energy. You should do live videos. I'm like, Len, like, I'm an introvert. There's no way I'm going to do a live video. Nobody's going to want to listen to what I have to say, right? So I didn't believe him. He's like, you know what? Just take this video. So he sends me this 3-hour long video of Tony Robbins. And I watched it from beginning to end. And throughout that entire practice, like, the biggest thing that he was saying is, you are enough, right? Like, you are great. You can do great things. You don't have to come from a certain place, right? Like, you need to just do what you feel is the best thing for you to do in the world. And he kept saying this and saying this and saying this. And it just started sparking something in me. And I started getting chills. Like, I had never felt that before. So at that moment, I was like, holy crap. Like, maybe what my parents were saying isn't true. Maybe what society is saying of me isn't the truth. Like, what if I can actually make a lot of money, save my parents, and then give back to other people? Like, could that actually be a possibility? So I ended up doing the live videos, getting into a massive amount of personal development. And I guess from that point forward is where my awareness kind of started to kick in. And it's just been building up over the years now.
Wow, that's amazing. So isn't it funny how self-awareness works? I feel that right? It's like we're like blind to ourselves. Like, we don't even see
Yeah.
it. And it goes like in levels. I feel like life, like we talked about this before, that life is like a video game. And I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
ascension and everything happens right here, right here. And sometimes we're like, I feel that also we learn a lot through our relationships with others. It's a
Mm-hmm.
way of like waking up. And so explain the process, like the levels of awareness. How did you start seeing the changes? What little changes did you start seeing when you started like becoming aware of, oh my God, I didn't know I had all these limiting beliefs, like with the money, you know, with like, I don't know if you were talking about a little bit, you were a little bit overweight. Was that whole process a part of what it is now, of what you are now?
Yeah. So definitely. So awareness is like the first step in anything. Like you hear it everywhere too. You'll see different training programs, all of this, they go off of like mindset and awareness first, right? You go to like an addictions like place and they're like, the first step is just to admit that you have a problem, be aware of it, right? So the awareness is like basically the first step in everything. And I guess the process I would say is, man, that's a hard one to say because, like you said, you're blind to it until you just come about it. So I guess the biggest thing that I could say is if you feel right now that you're not in the place that you feel that you need to be at, if you have this, like you said, that feeling inside of you, that uncomfortable feeling, that emptiness feeling inside of you, then I guess the biggest thing that I could recommend is just to take a step back for a second, right? Take a step back and just ask yourself, not what my parents want, not what my friends want, not what anybody else wants, but what do I want? Right. And then start being aware of, are your actions, are your thoughts and what you're doing on a daily basis actually aligning with this vision that you have set for yourself? Because if you can do that, then you can just, you're automatically going to be aware more, right? If you're focused on this vision, you're automatically going to be aware of the thoughts and the actions that you're taking if you're aligning them with that vision. And I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. So would you say that until then you kind of didn't have a vision for your life? Because I know that you were
I
saying
did.
you were struggling with money. Like, what was going on there? Like, was it because?
Exactly. I didn't have a, oh no, I just didn't have a direction. That's what it was. Like I was told from a young age, you know, you have to go to work it. If you don't graduate high school, you're basically going to work at a fast food place for the rest of your life. So that's what I was doing, working fast food. And then I ended up quitting there, going to another fast food place, and it just was jumping around that area. So I was basically just trying to keep afloat. I thought that's what life was. You basically just had to learn how to survive. And the only way for you to be successful is if you were born into money. So that whole thing like changed as soon as I started becoming aware of what it is that I want. Like if I had this feeling inside of me that I wanted to do something, I knew I could do something, right? Then why would I allow everything that everybody else was telling me to do keep me from getting there?
Yeah, and that's really hard. It's really hard for young people because we all want to be accepted, and it's kind of like not praised when you're like very different in this society.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you look online, like if you go on Instagram, everyone looks the same. All these girls, you know, they all look the same. And it's like, if you don't look like that, then you're not cool. Then you're not okay, you know? So like, how would you explain to someone young to not care about what others think and to like try to look within and find what they really want? You know, how to find
I
their.
think the easiest way I could say that is you're not living someone else's life and they're not living yours, right? So you trying to be like someone else doesn't make any sense because you're not them, right? Every single one of us were put on this earth different for a reason. If we were meant to all be the same, we would all look the same. So when you start breaking out of that shell, because I feel like right when people hit about high school or middle school, high school, it's kind of when they start breaking out of their own shell, they kind of start getting their own personality, right? So if you're in that stage right now, or maybe you're thinking back to that stage at one point and now you're trying to kind of find your self-worth, the biggest thing that I could say is this: do what makes you happy, right? Do what makes you happy. Do what you feel is the best thing for you to do and not focus on what other people have to say, right? The best way for you to not care about other people is just to start making yourself aware when you are caring about what other people are thinking, taking a step back and then refocusing on, you know what? I just want to be me, right? My values are that I'm me. I can be who I am. And I know that people can be successful just by being themselves because I've seen other people do it.
Yeah, that's true. So personal development was really big in helping you create that vision, right, for your life. Because I know that you were saying that you jumped from job to job, and now you're not. Now you're good. So how did you do that? How did you start creating that vision for yourself? Was it through personal development? Was it journaling? How would you like tell someone young, like, okay, take this step or do this? What would be the best way for someone to be able to start this process of like finding what it is that they
Getting
want?
into personal development or, oh, sorry, what would you say?
No, basically, like when you were finding your vision, how did you start? What process did you use to get to that? Like if someone young, who's not into personal development, who's like listening to this and is thinking, okay, well, I understand what you're saying. I understand that, I shouldn't listen to what other people want, and do what makes me happy. But how do they know what makes them happy? How do they know what to do in order to even get to this place, because
Yeah.
sometimes we want something but we don't know how. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to get from point A to point B.
So the first thing that I could say, that's a really good question. I really like his questions here. So give me one second. Someone's trying to call me there. So the biggest thing that I would say for someone that's trying to start maybe figuring out what it is that you do want to do and what you love to do and kind of starting to head down. Oh, are you still there? Oh, looks like you froze there, rock star. Hello, hello. Are you still there? Well, I'm going to keep talking just in case. So if you're wanting to figure out like what your vision is, if you're kind of confused about that process, the biggest thing that I would say is this. First off, get yourself into a really happy state, right? Because you're going to know what it is that you
Here we
want to do,
go. Okay.
what makes you happy when you're thinking happy thoughts. So if you just take the next, say, 5 minutes and just think about 3 to 5 things that you are absolutely 100% grateful for, right? It's the ones that make you smile. Like me even thinking about what I'm grateful for, I just smile, right? Get yourself into a high state of mind. Then shut off all distractions, right? This is your time. Just take the time to you right now. After you get yourself into a high state of mind, start asking yourself, what other things do I do or do I like to do on a daily basis that make me feel this same way? Whatever it is, that's probably what you should be heading down, right? If it's something where you get up in the morning and you think about personal development, you think about playing guitar, you think about doing music, you think about doing this stuff every single day, that's probably what you're meant to be heading down. But you're really not going to know unless you try. So the third step I would say is find someone who is already succeeding at the level of success you want to succeed at and kind of track their journey, right? See where they were, where you are right now, right? So Ty Lopez, where was he 20 years ago, right? Tony Robbins, where was he 40 years ago, right? And then see what were their steps that they had to take on that journey and then start taking those same exact steps. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just follow the same exact process and you'll start putting in your own personality along the way.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's already plenty of people that had, success leaves clues. So why exactly? And now thanks to the internet and thanks to so much information, yeah, we can do exactly that. It's not like before where we had to figure it out on our own. We could actually see the examples of others. But I remember you were telling me about when you were in school, because sometimes, yeah, we don't even know certain things or certain aspects about ourselves. And you were telling me about the teacher when you were in class, and she told you, "Hey, Daisha, you have a great voice," and you were like, "What?" That's another level of awareness that I'm talking about. That sometimes we don't even like see certain aspects of ourselves. So, what was that like? Where were you? I think it was chorus, right?
I was in third grade actually. Yeah. So there was this class that a group of us kids would go into where we had like a parent that died at a young age. They would basically talk us through problems. And my music teacher was the person that was hosting that class. So after the class, we could kind of hang out. It was recess time after that. So me and my friend are hanging out in class and we're just listening to music, jamming out, right? And the song comes on and I just start singing along with it because I love that song. And my teacher looks over at me and she's like, "Whoa, Daisha, like you're a tomboy." I was dressed in these like boy clothes. I had this pulled back ponytail, right? Like super overweight kid, right? And she looks back, she's like, "Whoa, like you're a really good singer." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah, like you should go into more of the music classes." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, thanks." And I don't know why, but that moment has always stuck with me. And music has probably been one of the biggest parts of my life that would help me get through hard times because it was that thing that made me happy, right? Just like I was saying, like when I think of happy things and I'm in a happy state and I'm like, oh, what else makes me happy like this? Music does, right? Interacting with people like this and personal development does. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And like, what if a kid has a parent and he wants to do something, and his parents want him to do something else? Because that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What what advice would you give for that? Because that's a really tough one. And I know that a lot of young people go through that. And to me, it's sad because sometimes, you spend so many years, so much money, and then you find yourself in a place where you're basically tied and unhappy and unfulfilled. And a lot of times it's because, we don't want to hurt those we love and we want to
Right.
please those we love. But I believe that, we have to come first, because in order to be able to be our best selves and give the best
Mhm.
of ourselves to others, we have to do that to ourselves. But that's a really hard process for someone young to do, you know?
For
So,
sure.
yeah. So,
So
what's
what
the,
I would say is, first off, don't talk to your parents when either of you are in a bad mood, right? If you try to bring something up, well,
yeah,
yeah, well, if you try to bring something up while you guys are yelling at each other about how you want to start doing sports while you guys are yelling about you not taking out the trash, right? That's not the best time for you to ask about it. So the biggest thing I would say is wait until you guys are in a good state of mind. Maybe you guys are sitting around at the table, just did your prayer, whatever, right? Just get yourself into a good state of mind first, so you guys are both on the same level, right? And you can feel that with people. We can feel it. So once you're on that same level, just very calmly, just say, "Hey, mom, hey, dad, can I ask you a question?" Okay. Well, what's your question? Well, I'm really wanting to get into this thing. What do you think about it? Right. And ask them what their thoughts are. Right. Don't take all of their thoughts to heart. Right. Because your parents, if they're in their right minds, they're not going to do anything ever to try to hurt you. Right. So they're going to give you their honest opinion. Right. And even if their opinion goes against what you're wanting to do, that doesn't mean that you need to just crush your dream. That's one of the biggest things I would say, right? You can take other people's opinions, but ultimately the choice is up to you. Now, the second thing I would say is, if your parents aren't open to like talking with you, right? I know that I've known a lot of parents where they're not open, right? They just think that their kids are horrible and whatever.
yeah.
Don't be afraid to reach out for help, right? When I was in high school, I was so afraid to reach out to any of my teachers, reach out to anyone, right? And if I would have just reached out to that counselor, if I would have just reached out to that teacher or reached out to my friend's parents or something, right? I could have had some type of help, or another person coming in at a different perspective and explaining it in a different way that could have triggered my parents' mind into thinking in a different way and actually accepting what it was that I wanted to do.
That is really good advice. It's true, because sometimes we're so afraid. We're so afraid to ask for help. And because we're insecure and we're young, we don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I mean, and it's true. Sometimes parents think that they are doing what's right for us, because a lot of parents are scared. And I love about the times now that, before, you wanted to get into music and people were like, are you crazy? You can't do
Yeah.
that. You never make a living out of that. But now, are you kidding me? You can do anything you want. Absolutely anything you want. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. God bless to that. Thank you.
Right? Right? So, about music. Let's talk music. So, what is your
What's up?
relationship with music? So, when your teacher told you that, like, it woke something up in you. Were you not even aware that you were such a good singer?
No, not at all. That's just how I felt. I just sang. That was it. I thought that's just what everybody sounded like and did, but that wasn't the case. So it's funny because with music, I've noticed that when you're singing, you sound a lot different in your head than you do outside to other people. And it can be like full switch. Like, some people think that they sound super great and they suck, and other people think that they sound super crappy, but they're really great.
That's so awesome. That's so true. So, you sing and you also play the guitar, don't you?
I do. Yeah. So I've self-taught on the guitar for about 4 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome. And do you have your guitar with you?
I do.
Awesome, awesome. So it's a special treat because I asked Daisha to come on here today and to actually sing a song for us. So, what song did you have in mind?
Lost Boy by Ruth. I don't know what her last name is, but it's Ruth something. Ruth B.
Awesome. I'm super excited. So, device not connected. Okay. So, yeah. So, Daisha, do you mind playing a song for us today?
Not at all. Let me hop out of this one and I will hop on to my other one.
Awesome. Awesome. So, you guys wait. I want you guys to hear Daisha sing for us. That's the special treat that I wanted to, put out today for you guys. It's Lost Boy. I forget what her name is. Ruth. I don't know what, but it's a great song. And let's get Daisha on here live and let her sing it for us. This is great. Okay, cool. Let's get Daisha back in. Yay! Are you ready?
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect, loud and clear.
Sweet. All right. Am I good to go?
You're good to go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening.
What up, guys? I hope you guys enjoyed this song. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember to be yourself, love yourself, and I love you guys. There was a time when I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to call home. My only friend was the man in the moon, and even sometimes he would go away too. Then one night as I closed my eyes, I saw a shadow flying high. He came to me with the sweetest smile, told me he wanted to talk for a while. He said, Peter Pan, and that's what they call me. And I promise that you'll never be lonely. And ever since that day, I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from all of reality. And Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. He sprinkled me in pixie dust and told me to believe in him and believe in me. Together we would fly away in a cloud of green to your beautiful destiny. As we soared above the town that never loved me, I realized I finally had a family. Soon enough we reached Neverland. Peacefully my feet hit the sand, and ever since that day, I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from all of reality. And Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Wendy, darling, even Captain Hook, you are my perfect storybook. Neverland, I love you so, you are now my home, sweet home forever, a lost boy at last. Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Wendy, darling, even Captain Hook, you are my perfect storybook. Neverland, I love you so, you are now my home, sweet home forever, a lost boy at last. And for always I will say, I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from all of reality. And Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free.
That was awesome. You really, really, really have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
No,
all right, I'm
thank
going to
you.
jump off this device and go back on my other one, okay?
Okay, all right. And here we go. There you are. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, Tasha. I really appreciate it. And
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
Before we get off, I know that you're up to something right now that's pretty cool. I'm actually a part of it too. So you want to tell everybody about it because, you know, I know there are a lot of people that look at lives and they think about doing it, and we all get so look at me. I get nervous all the time doing it. So right. So what is it that you're doing right now that maybe like someone who's been thinking about doing it will want to like jump on and be a part of it?
For sure, yeah. So I just opened up my virtual Vipers group to the public. So basically, people can come in, they can learn my structure for live videos, how I was able to kind of overcome fear with the videos, and then of course all the technical know-hows of it. Right? Some people freak out because they don't know how to do the technical stuff. I got that broken down for you guys as well. So if you guys want to join in with it, you can reach out to me, reach out to Naomi. There might be a link above or below this video. So
Awesome. That sounds good. And I would suggest you guys do it because Daisha is really good at lives. And if you've been wanting to, she can help you go through the process. And like she has said before, sometimes when you want to do something, you don't know how, you don't know the steps, and then we all, you tend to get discouraged, and then you stop. And I hate that because I've done that before. And then I always wonder, wow, I wonder what would have happened if I didn't do that or if I didn't try that. And the good thing is that if you've been wanting to do it, well, you don't have to wonder or mess up. She can help you because she's done it and she has the steps. So thanks so much, Daisha, for coming on. We're going to let you guys go now and let you get back to whatever it is that you have to do. And I hope you all are enjoying your Tuesday. And I hope you have a fantastic evening, rest of the week. And thank you so much, Daisha, for doing this. I really appreciate you.
so welcome. So happy to be here. Have a great day, guys, and be yourself.
All right, everybody, goodbye and see you mañana.